And it's your boy, man, Jay Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy. Before you end up like busy, man, make sure I follow my Twitch, man. Subscribe to my second channel. Everything you need to know about your boy Jay, it's in the description down below. But your boy Jay is back with debates. You will find all my debate reactions in the NBA playlist section over yonder. For all my new subscribers and new viewers, I say this all the time because it's very important. All my videos are in playlist sections. You know what I mean? Cartel reactions, fail reactions, NBA reactions, NFL reactions, whatever you want to see, head over yonder. You know what I mean? But we got one NBA old head versus 10 GZ fans. Like I said before, and I'm gonna say it again. If you do want to go check out part one of this reaction, it is in the NBA reaction playlist section. But one thing that pisses me off about my era, and especially today's era, is that they just don't give props to the old heads. Like, and it's so funny how, like, 2010s is my era. You know what I'm saying? That's my era. You feel me? So for me, I feel like my era was the greatest era to ever live. You know what I mean? That's just to me personally. But I'm speaking like when it comes to like still, like, even though I feel like 2010s was the greatest basketball to ever be played, I'm not finna trash the 80s and 90s acting like they didn't have skill. You know what I mean? Because they for sure had plenty of people that were ballers. You know what I mean? Straight up. You feel me? Like I said, I feel like the worst basketball ever to be played is today. You know what I mean? The 2020s is terrible. You know what I mean? This junk is terrible. You feel me? Straight up. No cap. Like, to act like y'all just got all this skill and all this, bro, you're terrible. You literally don't even have centers that can post up. That junk is a non-factor now. You don't even have true centers. You have a 7'5" motherfucker in the league that can't even post up. That motherfucker can't even post up. That motherfucker don't even dunk on people. He ain't got no post game. Only one person in this league got post game, and that's Nikola Jokic. He rarely got that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no type of true centers. All y'all foul baiting. The whistle is being blown more than ever today. And you talking about this basketball is better than the 80s and 90s? 2010s, that's different from this era. We're not a part of this era. My generation, we're not a part of this era, bro. I didn't grow up watching no Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I didn't grow up watching no Luka Doncic. I grew up watching LeBron James, Kevin Durant. You know the players that's older now, Kawhi Leonard, Steph Curry, that's still taking over the league. Grew up watching them, bro. I grew up watching y'all motherfuckers.
I'm trying to argue that there was a dilution in the product back then because
y'all be trying to sound so smart. I'm gonna keep it real with you, and by the looks of it, I'm gonna keep it real. You look like you never played sports. If you never played sports, and look, and this is my firm opinion, and I feel like this should be the truth. If you never played sports, you should not talk about sports. I'm sorry. Like, if you never played sports, it's like a lot of y'all, you talk about boxing, but you never boxed. I just don't believe in talk about something you never did before. I don't know. It's just different. See, for me, I'm an athlete, bro. You know what I'm saying? I played the sport ever since I was little. I grew up playing these sports: baseball, football, basketball, boxing. You know what I mean? I play these sports. So it's like I can speak on these sports because I actually experienced it. You know what I mean? Probably not at the highest level, but I still was a starter, still experienced it, though. I just feel like if you were thick little cupcake, or if you never touched the football field or basketball court or baseball field or box or whatever, you shouldn't talk about sports.
88, they expand.
Because you truly don't know about sports like you really think you do. If you never played sports, you would never understand the sports game like we do.
Up until 95,
it's a fan.
6 total teams.
Sure.
You had the Grizzlies, you had the Heat, you had the Hornets, you had the Timberwolves, you had the Raptors, and you had the Timberwolves. All for the most part.
Just said Timberwolves 2 times.
Right now still are bad NBA franchises. So you could only imagine in the 90s, most of them weren't good. Outside of the Magic, none of them had immediate success. I think when you have 6 new NBA teams introduced in an era, you automatically get worse NBA players on those teams. I think right now the NBA desperately needs an expansion because there are too many good NBA players. We see what Quentin Grimes is doing with the 76ers right now. He's averaging 25 plus points per game. Back then in the 90s, you didn't have Quentin Grimes that bounce around teams and can average 20 a night.
Interesting, because number one, the Heat showed up in '88. They were in the playoffs 4 years later. They were in the Eastern Conference Championship in '97.
That's a good franchise.
Which is 9 years later. The Minnesota Timberwolves, I'll give you that. The Orlando Magic, we already talked about. We already talked about them. Charlotte, who ended up
joke.
Yeah, Charlotte. But well, they weren't a joke back then because I mean they had the number.
They had a good
pick.
run.
Not only did they have a good run,
Yeah.
I mean they drafted well. They beat the Boston Celtics and ended that franchise. Ended their run. So Charlotte. Let's see, the Miami Heat. Let's see, Orlando. So teams like that. So teams like that. It wasn't of the 5 teams. That's 60% of them that were actually really good.
6. We have the Raptors. We have the Grizzlies. So both of those teams at first were very bad.
They had no idea what they were doing with the Grizzlies. That's why they ended up folding. So I mean, I can't count them. But with that being said, they also had players on that team who weren't bad. I mean, Big Country Reeves, Shaq would tell me all the time how much of a difficult time he had with Big Country Reeves. He is the same one that when he retires, he's gonna say, this guy was he gave me the most problems. That's Joel Embiid. When Joel Embiid retires, he's gonna say, Al Horford gave me hell. I promise you that.
Now, in 98-99, the team with the best offensive rating was the Indiana Pacers with the 110 offensive rating.
Sure.
Right now, that would rank bottom 10 in the NBA in terms of offensive rating. Offensive rating now has exploded, and it's exploded since the 2000s.
Because defense is way worse than it's ever been. You know what I'm saying? That's why. That's why you got Lee 41 that can play till he's 41 years old. That's why we don't care about stats when it comes to Lee 41. Because you don't have no defense. You know, they was actually slinging mother effers on the ground and actually playing defense, actually had to play through fouls, and you know what I mean, the whistle wasn't getting blown every second, you know what I mean, of the minute, you know what I'm saying. So defense was you gotta take account in that too, that defense was way better back then than it is now, bro. You know what I mean. So all them stacks and you're trying to get strategical and trying to get statistical, you know what I mean, all that stats, it sound good, bro, you know what I mean, but it's none of that, bro. You trying to sound smart, bro, you know what I'm saying, but none of that matters, bro.
It's even better than the 90s. I'm looking at the average NBA player today. They need to have more skills to play and be in a rotation than back then. Yep. Back then, you can have one role. You could either defend really well, rebound really well, maybe shoot, maybe pass. Now, you have to have a combination of at least 3 of them.
No, you don't.
Offensive rating really quickly doesn't really work for me because the Golden State Warriors in 2015, 2016 had the best offense in NBA history. They'd be at the bottom of the league today. In 2025, it would be the worst offense in the NBA today.
So imagine just how much better it is than the 90s.
Fair enough.
Let's go. OG.
All right, next topic.
Well, it's interesting. We were talking about the Golden State Warriors adding Kevin Durant and how much better he made them. But I think about what the Celtics were doing and how much better.
Please let's not make this a discussion. Larry Bird is better than all time. Better all time than Kevin Durant. He is better. If you know about Larry Bird, 3-time MVP, 3-time champion, you know what I mean? He's better than Kevin Durant, bro. Y'all get hypnotized by all that flashy and all that junk, bro. Larry was flashy too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Larry, 3-time champion, 3-time MVP, and only played like, I think, 12 seasons.
Bird was, because I think Bird's better than KD.
Heck yeah.
Larry Bird better than Kevin Durant.
And people like this don't know freaking... People like this, bro, don't know ball like they think. Like, I used to be that type of person, too, that, like, it's like they don't go back and watch Larry Bird at all. They just like, okay, Kevin Durant is better than Larry Bird. That's the bottom line. You can't have an opinion about something if you don't even try to go back and watch Larry Bird, bro. You know what I'm saying? I thought the same thing until I watched Larry Bird. I started going back and watching Larry Bird. Larry Bird, way better than freaking Kevin Durant. Better passer, a better shooter, just a better player. You know what I'm saying? Better player. The only thing KD can do better than Larry Bird, bro, is shoot the mid-range, bro. That's it. Just shoot the mid-range. You know what I mean? A better scorer. I mean, you know. That's an all-around player, but Larry Bird better than Kevin Durant.
I think Bird's better than KD.
Larry Bird better than Kevin
It's not
Durant.
laughable, bro.
I love this one.
He's my top 4 of all time. Larry Bird.
Do not compare.
I need to be sold on Larry, so I'm excited for this.
Kevin Durant.
Sure.
3-level scorer. The best scorer in the history of the game.
Yeah, not really. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. We gotta kind of stop saying that because look terrible against my Lakers. I mean, we gotta stop saying all the scoring and all that. I don't really think he's the best scorer of all. I used to say that, bro, but start kind of looking at his legacy. I mean, like, the man had to go to Golden State. The man had to go to super teams. You know what I mean? Like, when did Kevin Durant like actually ever like did what Larry Bird did? Like, when did Kevin Durant ever like He had prime Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and like him on a freaking what's the name at the center, bro. But it's like, when does Kevin Durant ever won the ring? With him being the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, please tell me when, bro.
Can play make. Maybe not as well
Not a
as
good
Larry Bird.
Not a good playmaker.
The defender. They don't talk about Kevin Durant, the defender. Pretty great rim protector. And although the Golden State Warriors were already an elite defense before him, think about what he brought to them as a rim protector. He was an all-NBA level defender when he was with the Golden State Warriors. Now, Larry Bird is an all-time great. No one's going to deny that. Second, third best small forward in the history of the game. But when you look at the object of the game,
the first best in my opinion.
Nobody's better than Kevin Durant.
I think what you mentioned when you talked about scoring, I mean, Bird at his peak, he was 27, 10, and 6. That was 5 years where he did that. And you talk about how wildly efficient Kevin Durant was. I mean, Bird was a 50, 40, 90 guy. In 1988, I mean, he averaged 30 and 10 on almost 30 and 10 on 50, 40, 90. I mean,
3 consecutive MVPs to y'all. If y'all don't know what that means like 1, 2, 3 MVPs in a row, bro. 3 MVPs in a row. Kevin Durant hasn't done that.
when you talk about the versatility of Larry Bird, how much better of a distributor he was, how much better of a glass cleaner that he was. You talk about how great Kevin Durant was as a defender and a rim protector. Just so you know, Larry Bird's an all-league defender.
He was.
Larry Bird wasn't just a good defender; he was an all-league defender when he played in the NBA. Now he was more of a team defender, which I think that resonates with me. I care about you as a one-on-one defender, and I care about how good you are as a one-on-one defender.
Fair enough.
But how do you affect your unit? And I feel like Larry Bird affected his unit, not just with his one-on-one defense, but his passing lane defense.
Yeah,
His
he was a
ability
great
to help
passer.
off the weak side. Not just that, but people don't talk about rebounding nearly as much. Bird was a double-digit rebounder.
He was.
And with him being that, and as a passer, and on top of that, him in the meat and potatoes of games, asking for the ball, not just asking for the ball, delivering. I mean, he's got a winning record in the playoffs. He's got a winning record in closeout games. Bird was fantastic.
He was. Now, when you look at Kevin Durant and his ability to score the basketball,
Here we gonna keep talking about scoring. Here we go. He ain't gonna say nothing, a whole bunch of nothing. I don't want y'all to hear him. I just want y'all to listen to him. He gonna say a whole bunch of nothing. Watch.
well, we already talked about it. 3-level scoring, the most efficient basketball player we've ever seen. But
Yeah.
I just can't help but think about, he joined the Golden State Warriors. He joined a team that already had a unanimous MVP.
Sure.
He joined, having Steph Curry on your side. Steph Curry. Like, you're joining a team that went 73-9 without you. They was supposed to win another ring if they didn't blow that 3-1 comeback. In reality, gang, I feel like they needed you to beat LeBron, but they didn't really need you to beat LeBron. It's like, that 3-1 comeback, that right there was a miracle. I'm gonna keep it real with you. That was a miracle. That I don't know how that happened. You know what I'm saying? That 3-1 comeback, bro. A freaking miracle. They were putting switch the booty on Brown without you. You know what I'm saying? Came back 3-1 and then came and got you. You feel me? And then it's just like you just gotta understand, they're 73-9 without you, bro. So they really ain't need you to make it to the finals. They didn't need you to make it to the finals.
And he immediately became the best player on the team.
That's right.
We're talking about back-to-back finals against the best player we've ever seen. In both of our opinions, we believe that LeBron James is the best ever.
That's what I do.
To go in
I don't believe that at all. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Y'all opinion.
both of those series and to outperform LeBron James, to be the best player in both of those
Bro,
series.
you was facing freaking George Hill, J.R. Smith. Let's remind you that you beat LeBron without Kyrie Irving. Yeah, like facing Tristan Thompson's freaking like, do you see who you were facing again? Like, come on, bro.
To have the game-sealing moment, basically identical year after year in that game.
But Kevin Durant did not really impressive.
Hit that three over LeBron James to basically seal the series. There's not many players in NBA history that are going up against. Well, I'll give Bird his credit, because what I'm going to say is incorrect. Because Larry Bird has an undefeated record against Michael Jordan, but that was before Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan.
Bro, Larry Bird was freaking old, bro. What are you talking about? That was young Michael Jordan versus old Larry Bird. What are you talking about?
before he really was a true basketball genius. That was just a kid who was just out there just being better than.
Stop making
everybody else.
excuses, bro.
You had peak LeBron James at the peak of his powers.
Got punished.
And Kevin Durant was going tit for tat with him, and at times outperforming him.
Sure. Now, I think what you discount is the step back that Steph Curry took. Like, Steph Curry didn't have to take a step back.
Definitely.
He could have definitely,
Underrated part of him.
When Kevin Durant got on that crew,
Agreed.
still said, yo, I really don't need you because I did this without you.
That's not true. He cried in the car. He said, come please, KD, I'm begging you.
Here's the difference, though. I actually did it before I got you. That doesn't, I'm not going to say that negates that I needed you, but I did get
Against a hurt
I did
Cavaliers
get there,
team.
and I did get there, though. Whether they were beat up or not, I did get
That
there.
2017
without
was
you.
the healthiest Cavaliers.
And on top of that, I did it after you left, which means that I didn't really need you as much as you needed me. So I can't discount the fact that what Steph Curry
He did win the ring. AD ain't win the ring ever since he left the Golden State Warriors. That's a fact, though. That's something you can't deny, bro. You know what I'm saying? KD ain't win the ring ever since he left the Golden State Warriors, and then Steph Curry went to win the ring in 2022 against the Boston Celtics, bro. So, I mean, shoot, that's one thing that he's never going to be able to live down, bro. Like, I'm sorry, bro. You'll never be in my top 10, bro. Just off of that fluky move. That people like you not supposed to do moves like that. Know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, it's not something, bro. You should have just stayed with OKC, bro. You went to the finals with OKC and got your head beat in by LeBron James, the Miami Heat. You know what I'm saying? You had the freaking Golden State Warriors down 3-1. Letting them come all the way back. That OKC team could have won the finals, but you're just not that guy to do that. You made it to the finals with the Oklahoma City Thunder. It wasn't impossible for y'all to do. It wasn't, y'all didn't have a bad team. On easy. You know what I'm saying? You just wasn't that guy to do that. Just not that guy to, you know what I mean, take your team to the promised land.
Much as you needed me. So I can't discount the fact that what Steph Curry getting on that crew, with Kevin Durant got on that crew, him saying, I'm going to let you be KD. I'm not going to argue that. But what I am going to argue is, and I actually did some research on this too, about Jordan saying that he wouldn't have minded having Larry Bird on his team because he wasn't comfortable with Bird kicking his ass.
Come on,
100% he wasn't comfortable with that. But with that also being said, Bird being the player that he was in the playoffs, not just Bird being the player that he was in the playoffs, being the player that he was in the regular season and bringing it every night and showing how much better he was by winning the league MVP, not once, not twice, but 3 straight years, and being an all-league defender within
3
that
straight
time
years
and playing at that level consistently. I think that Larry Bird, just as an all-around player, he was better than Kevin Durant.
The one part of Larry Bird's game that I think that it's not a question when you compare against KD, I think is the playmaking. But even still, I feel like that's an underrated part of Kevin Durant's game, especially his ability.
Bro, KD's never been a passer. Like, please stop trying to, like, make up stats to just uplift. Talking about underrated playmaker. Bro, he's never been a passer. He's never been a playmaker, bro. Stop it. I grew up watching KD, bro. Literally, bro. KD's never been a playmaker, bro. KD's always been a scorer, bro. Stop lying, bro. Trying to sound very underrated. He's never been a playmaker, bro. Stop it, bro. Never been like an all-time defender. Stop, bro. Stop it, bro. KD known for your scoring, bro. That's it, bro. So please let's stop trying to talk about playmaking, bro. Not a playmaker, bro.
I think it's the playmaking. But even still, I feel like that's an underrated part
You're lying,
of Kevin
bro.
Durant's game, especially his ability
Underrated
in
part?
transition. Especially
What?
his
The
ability.
reason why it's underrated, Drew, because it's not that good.
That's
Exactly.
not necessarily true.
Yes, it
I
is.
think that obviously he's an elite, arguably the best isolation basketball player in the game, especially when you consider height and everything into account.
Sure.
But again, when you are as great as you are offensively, especially scoring the basketball.
Right.
When we've had seasons of him averaging over 6 assists, we've had seasons of him averaging over 7 assists.
Right.
And again, the defensive versatility, you mentioned all the reasons why Larry Bird's a great defender. On top of the fact that Kevin Durant can do basically everything that Larry Bird could defensively, as an athlete, it's not comparable. It's Kevin Durant.
I don't know if he could do everything that Bird could do defensively, because if he could, then, like I said, Bird being the weak side defender that he was, Bird being the rebounder that he was. I mean, these
Kevin
things
Durant's
add
a
up.
great rebounder.
He wasn't Bird, though.
For the era, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but
Right, absolutely, especially in the meat and potatoes of games, coming up with big rebounds, diving on the floor for loose balls and things like that. I mean, he just didn't do that. He didn't bring to the game what he did. Now, I won't argue that Kevin Durant as a bucket getter was what he was.
there's nobody on his level.
I won't argue that, but I feel like like overall everything that Larry Bird did, and playing with the collection of guys that he played with, which enhanced his game, I just feel like he was. I just feel like he was a better player.
When the Golden State Warriors gave him his opportunity to do what he did better than anybody else in NBA history, there was no team that stood a chance. That includes our GOAT, LeBron James, in 2017 and 2018. 2018, LeBron went for 51 points. He was excellent. It did not matter. Kevin Durant being so overwhelmingly great.
Had a better team, bro.
That to an already dominant team in the Golden State Warriors, it made things unfair. When you get
had a better
player
team,
like
bro.
Kevin Durant, when he has the
They
ability,
had LeBron down with 3-1, bro. They were already a better team. They were already, even if Kyrie would have stayed, bro, that Golden State Warriors team was still better than LeBron James' team, bro. Stop.
go out there
Stop
and
it,
get
bro.
buckets. We saw what can happen, and that's being
Acting like KD just destroyed the Cleveland Cavaliers on his own.
Fair enough.
Hey, OG. Appreciate
Absolutely,
you.
brother. Yep.
Close to the double shot clock violation. I was excited.
Yes, sir.
I feel like you're being way too disrespectful to Kevin Durant. We're talking about easy money sniper. We're talking about a 7-footer who can handle like a guard, who can shoot like one of the best shooters on the planet. Now I understand Larry Bird and everything he's done, but he came into the
think you
league,
do.
and yes, I do.
I know you
He
don't.
played with Dennis Johnson. He played with Robert Parrish. He played with Kevin McHale. He played with Danny Ainge. He had a great roster. I'm looking at Kevin Durant after
Kevin Durant had a great roster. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a great roster. Kevin Durant had Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. Like, what are we like? He had like literally like one of the greatest point guards to ever live. You know what I'm saying? Nobody that Larry Bird played with nobody that Larry Bird played with is top 5 in their position. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? Nobody at all. Now I mean, you have literally a top 5 point guard, possibly a top 10 player of all time. You know what I'm saying? Literally at your disposal. You have one of the greatest shooters to ever live, Klay Thompson, at your disposal. You have one of the best defenders in history, Draymond Green, at your disposal. You know what I'm saying? Please stop it. Do not compare Larry Bird's team to his team. Please stop it, bro.
He played with Danny Ainge. He had a great roster. I'm looking at Kevin Durant after his rookie year. He went on the run where he averaged 30, 30, 30, and 30. 2014, MVP, 77% at the rim. He led a team to the NBA Finals. Now,
And
I will
got
say,
switched the
I wouldn't
booty.
choose him to lead my army. I think he's more of a mercenary for hire.
Okay, I would choose Larry Bird. That's exactly why Larry Bird is better than Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? That right there. You wouldn't choose him to lead. Okay, if he can't lead your team to the promised land, he's not better than Larry Bird because Larry Bird led his team to the promised land. So you just saying that, dug your own grave.
Now, I will say, I wouldn't choose him to lead my army. I think he's more of a mercenary for hire.
I would choose Bird, though.
And we saw, I agree, but we saw what he did with Golden State outdoing LeBron James, and we know in 20
Had a better team, bro. Like, oh my God. We all know that Kevin Durant is not better than LeBron James. Stop bringing this up like it's a 1v1 match, bro. Had a better team. Do you see the type of team you was on, bro? You beat this man with George Hill. You know what I'm saying? J.R. Smith, bro. Tristan Thompson. Bro, it's not hard to understand. Stop bringing up what he did at Golden State, bro. Nobody cares. I don't care about that, John. I ain't gonna cut to you. Adding Kevin Durant definitely helped them for sure, but that right there is just like,
If his foot isn't on the line, the Nets beat the Bucks in Game 7, and they go to the NBA Finals and they win. That year, they didn't win because of injuries. I just look at KD and what he had to deal with, especially early on in OKC. Yep. Can you name me the starting lineup for OKC?
The OKC starting lineup.
The year they made the NBA Finals.
Yeah, they made the finals. You had Russ, you had Serge Ibaka, you had
Ibaka was nice.
Roberson. No, Roberson wasn't on the crew. You had Russ, you had KD, you had Ibaka, you had, I think Kendrick Perkins was on that. Yeah, and Cephalosha.
That's the 5.
Yep.
Does that compare to any of the teams Larry Bird had with the Celtics?
Hey, man, like I said,
Yeah,
my grandmother
prime Russell
anybody
Westbrook.
can train a secretary. You can screw him up, too, though, just so you know. Let's make sure that we clear on that, because just because he had a bomb squad does not mean...
You had prime Russell Westbrook. You had James Harden on your team. You had prime Russell Westbrook on your team. Nobody on Larry Bird's team is better than prime Russell Westbrook. And Serge Ibaka was not bad at all. Serge Ibaka was actually a nice player.
It would have worked, and Bird made that crew so much better. Let's make sure that we're clear that in 1981, when they won the NBA championship, Bird was in year 2. Kevin McHale was a rookie. So He's leading this crew to the NBA championship. He's the best player on that team. No, he didn't win the Finals MVP. That went to Cedric Maxwell. But now we're moving.
So he didn't win Finals MVP?
No, he did not win.
KD went to the Warriors and won Finals MVP 2 years in a row with Steph, a unanimous MVP on his roster.
Now I'm glad you brought that up, because if you remember that series in 2017, if you think about what Steph Curry did, he almost averaged a triple-double in the NBA Finals
KD
in
was
20.
better. KD was better.
Are we sure about that?
Yes, I'm sure.
He went 26, 10, and 7 during that.
In both
that
playoff series, in both final series, he hit the dagger.
Yes, now hitting the dagger does not mean that you're better. Just because you hit the last shot does not mean that you're better.
Well, he was better than Steph.
So Steph.
He averaged 30
Steph took
on
a
50,
step,
40, 90.
Steph took a step back in order to let KD do
and why
what
did he take
doing.
a step back?
He took a
because
step back.
He knows KD's better.
But he needed KD to be KD. That doesn't mean that KD was better. He needed KD to be KD.
So you think Steph is better than KD?
I do think that Steph is better than KD.
All right.
100%.
I just want to stay on the argument of Larry Bird,
Yes,
because
sir.
I don't defense.
I don't think. For me, I don't think Steph Curry is better than Kevin Durant. I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sticking to that argument. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't think Steph Curry better than Kevin Durant.
I mean that KD was better.
Just
he
me.
needed KD to be KD.
So you think Steph is better than KD?
I do think that Steph is better than KD.
All right.
100%.
I just want to stay on the argument of Larry Bird,
Yes,
because
sir.
I don't defensively. You can have the numbers of defensive teams. I think most of that was due to reputation, because no way Larry Bird cannot jump 2 feet off the ground.
Amen.
Kevin Durant can. He's way more athletic. You talk about a prime.
Here we go. We talking about athleticism. There we go. We hypnotized by this athleticism. There we go. Let's talk about the athleticism. Here we go.
The ground.
Amen.
Kevin Durant,
Flashy
he's
mother.
way more athletic. You talk about a prime KD.
Can you lift 2 feet?
77% at the rim, 50% mid-range shooter. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, outside of passing that Larry Bird does better than Kevin
He
Durant.
shoots better than he shoots better.
2 feet off the ground. Meanwhile, he's spinning on the baseline on Dennis Rodman and reverse dunking on him in playoffs. That's going on. So I think that's a little bit higher than 2 inches off the ground. That's going on. With that also being said, as a player, as
Better
a
defender.
playmaker, as a passer, as a distributor, as a rebounder, how smart Larry Bird was. I remember Larry Bird specifically saying, you see the game 2 steps ahead. Now, when I think about a guy thinking the game like that, that tells me that that's a genius. I see the game 2 steps ahead, where I see this guy going to be there and he's going to be there. And when it works out like that, it works out exactly the way you did, exactly the way you think it works. That's a basketball IQ that you can't teach.
Judges, how did that round go? Let's start from the side this time.
Yeah, I think that was a dog versus dog battle is what you guys were it comes down to. And I think OG was explaining Larry Bird had the dog and KD's dog was a puppy in comparison.
I didn't hear the hate of Bird. We got to hear some hate. There's no hate.
This is the most respectable one they've done
You're
yet.
the hater. You got to hate.
That's true. No?
I mean, look, it's tough for me just because I watched Kevin Durant my entire life. I can't say that I watched too much of Bird. He had a broken back on the sideline, laying on the floor in what was that, 93 OG? 92. So it's tough for me because I seen KD and I want to say that he's better, but I can't help but wish that this was 2K. We could turn injuries off and have Larry Bird have a 20-year career like KD's gonna have and see what that would look like. So it's tough.
Tim Duncan is the best power forward in NBA history.
Do y'all have any idea how good he was? We're about to find out.
100% disagree. Didn't you a second?
I'm not gonna lie, like you right here, bro. Like, were you the one that did that Luka Doncic video? Like, you literally don't know sports. I'm not gonna lie. Like I couldn't even react to that video no more. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I just don't want to. Let me see, Luka Doncic hater. Like, let me go and see Luka Doncic. Let me see this, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know this wasn't you. You know what I mean? That was you. You know what I mean? I think that was you. You know what I mean? Or your lookalike. I don't know. I think it was you. You know what I mean? But no, I don't know if it was you or not. You know what I mean? All I know is you. Now, that wasn't you, but I know you built like a sack of laundry. You know what I mean? That's one thing I know. One thing I don't do is I don't forget a face. You know what I'm saying? So Tim Duncan being the greatest power forward of all time, that could be it. You know what I mean? Being the greatest power forward of all time, yeah, that definitely could be it. Tim Duncan, heck yeah, Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan for sure, Yoli. You know what I mean? Tim Duncan, yeah. I feel like if Giannis could lead the freaking Bucks, bro, Giannis will be up there in the future. You know, I like Dirk. I got Dirk up there. I'm sorry. Dirk Nowitzki. You know what I'm saying? Dirk is always going to be up there for me. You know what I mean? But yeah, Tim Duncan, honestly, yeah, that's powerful.
About to find out.
Like Tim Duncan, bro. Tim Duncan, bro, was cold, bro. You know what I mean? I remember watching that San Antonio Spurs versus Miami Heat matchup. See, everybody keep talking about the LeBron James. And like I said, LeBron James, the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors. That series, that time was pure cinema, bro. You know, no mistake about that. You know what I mean? But bro, the most underrated finals, bro, you know what I mean, is the Miami Heat versus the San Antonio Spurs. You know, that was a rivalry before the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors. You know what I mean? I'll never forget Ray Allen hitting that shot. I remember like it was yesterday, bro, watching it live on TV. Started going crazy in my room, bro. Watching it live on TV when he hit that freaking shot, bro. It was crazy, bro. One of the most crazy experiences I've
Have any idea how
ever
good
lived
he
through,
was?
bro.
We're about to find out.
100% disagree. Didn't you a second ago say that Giannis was destroying that era?
That doesn't mean he the best
Giannis
ever.
would murder him. Tim Duncan plays like an old guy.
Giannis
At
would
his age,
definitely.
how is he going to guard Giannis on the perimeter? He can't. All he has is that old man mid-range that I've seen at LA Fitness a million times. Give Giannis the ball against him, it's over.
Sure.
Literally said nothing. He said nothing. You just stating your opinion. I told y'all built like a sack of laundry. I told y'all I don't forget a face. Remember this mother effer.
Mid-range that I've seen at LA Fitness a million times. Give Giannis the ball against him, it's over.
Sure. It's interesting you bring up that old man game at LA Fitness. Can you stop that guy?
Yeah,
No, you
can.
can't. No, you can't.
Yeah,
That
you
guy is
can.
kicking your ass. In fact, not only is he kicking your ass, you're trying to figure out how is he kicking your ass.
I've kicked his ass
you're
before.
trying to
I just
figure
run to
out
the
why.
paint.
It's the third or the fourth time you've been on the sideline because y'all lost
NBA player, bro.
again because you can't stop the running hook that he has, or you can't stop the
running
mid range that he
hook?
has, which is
Bro, you're watching TV, bro. See, that's how a lot of y'all, this is exactly what I be saying. This is how a lot of fans be looking.
again because you can't stop the running hook that he has, or you can't stop the mid.
This how a lot of fans be. They be sitting back watching TV, thinking it's easy because somebody else make it look easy. You feel me? Thinking that, oh yeah, I can stop that because it's very different, bro. You sitting back and watching than actually being in the game. Like I said, I'm gonna bring up boxing again. It looks so easy for you to box. Everybody think they can box until they get in the ring. Now you start understanding that, dang, it's harder than what I expected. Talking about he can stop some Tim Duncan. You know what I'm saying? But get the freak out of my face. You feel me? Stop judging just because you looking, you know what I mean, on television, bro. It's completely different, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you get inside the game, my boy. You feel me? You just watching highlights, bro. So of course it look easy because he make it look easy. Another thing for YouTube, y'all. Just putting this on the what's the name? You watching me right now, mano y mano. You watching me. I can do what Jay do. You think you can do what I do, you know why? Because I make it look easy, just like they did Beezy. You feel me? So I make it look easy, so you looking like, oh, man, I could do what Jay do. That's junk easy. Do it. You know what I mean? Turn on that camera, you gonna see it's a different type of, it's a different type of, now you stepped into the role now. Now you're gonna be like, damn, junk ain't really easy for real. Dang, Jay make it look so easy, but I can't do it. So a lot of y'all think things are easy because we make it look easy. You know what I'm saying? But I promise you, it ain't easy. If you ain't got it in you, it ain't easy.
Range that he has, which is what Tim Duncan had. So
Just be sitting back, just looking.
Giannis is, and I'm not going to argue that Giannis wouldn't destroy the 90s, but Tim Duncan had a game, I think, that was very similar. I think that he had a game that was very simple. And because it was very simple, like in the words of Kawhi Leonard, slow as pro. And as simple as his game was, it didn't matter who he was going up against. You're not going to take him out of what he does. You're not going to make him do anything that he doesn't want to do, and you're not going to push him around because that's
Well,
what
got
Tim
5
Duncan was,
rings.
a glass cleaner, an elite defender, who, by the way, right from the beginning, right from the door, because you brought up Giannis. I don't know if you know this, but Tim Duncan in year 2, he was leading the team to the NBA championship with Mario Elie, who was on his 6th team in 8 years. Okay, of course you don't know who that is. Jerome
Exactly.
Kersey, who was on his 4th team in 4 years.
You never heard of him? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so you saying you never heard of him is proving this case. You never heard of him, so he was carrying those dudes to the finals. Basically, what he's trying to tell you. So you saying you never heard of him proves why Tim Duncan was so great.
Avery Johnson, who was on his 5th team in 7 years, and let's see, Malik Rose, who was in year 3 at that point. So guys, these are the guys he's taken to the NBA championship. Meanwhile, he's doing this in year 2, who, by the way, he also did in year 1. He was first team All-Pro. So right from the beginning, when I come into the league, I'm that, and I'm that for the duration of my career.
That's really ridiculous. I don't even think he was the best player on his team at any point in his career.
I don't think you believe that, but
I know.
Bro, get the freak off the mic, bro. Come on, you, bro, get the freak off the mic. You don't think Tim Duncan, he was literally the franchise player. Tim Duncan is the Spurs, bro. What are you talking about? You dumb, bro? Like, what you saying ain't an opinion. What you saying is just pure stupid. People like you, bro, you ain't got no opinion. Ain't no opinion. Just you being a hater and you being just dumb. You a fool, boy.
I don't even think he was the best player on his team at any point.
Multiple MVP winner. 5-time champion. He was never the best. Okay. Get the freak out the mic. It's a trolling motherfucker. Get this man off the mic.
In his career.
I don't think you believe that, but
I know that.
Who was better than him? An older David Robinson?
Yes.
Well, he wasn't better than him.
He was Tony Parker, Kawhi Leonard.
Tony
back
Parker.
so many years.
If Tony
Kawhi
Parker was better,
Leonard.
if Tony Parker was better than him, explain to your boys over here why in the 2003 NBA Finals the word was out that Tony Parker was going to get traded for Jason Kidd at that time. This is your starting point guard, but he was better than Tim Duncan, who dismantled the 3-time back-to-back-to-back NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers. Meanwhile, we talking about Tony Parker getting shipped out and they replacing him with Jason Kidd. They wasn't doing that with Tim Duncan. That wasn't going on.
All right, just thank you for following.
Exactly. Can't even say nothing. Bro didn't even say. He talking about thank you for volunteering his tribute, John. Like, what the freak? Bro got massacred. Bro did nothing. Bro got massacred. You just a troller, bro. You just a troller. No, I mean, you just want a reaction. You just want attention, bro. Why is he on this show? I thought people supposed to be on this show that knows ball. This motherfucker don't know no type of ball. Why is he here? I mean, let me get on here. He don't like what is he here for?
That with Tim Duncan. That wasn't going on.
All right, just thank you for volunteering his tribute, Joe. Someone had to do it. Well done, Joe. Yeah, that was a tough one.
Great job.
Yo, Dels.
Next brave soul.
I believe in you.
We believe in you, Dels.
You can cook.
OG.
Dels back again.
OG. Listen, OG. I love laying groundwork.
Sure.
You want to talk accolades? You want to talk, all-time where they rank? Tim Duncan's got it. You know what I mean? The championships he's got, he's on some all-time great teams and all-time great coach. He's got things that Giannis right now in his career doesn't have. But if we talk,
And Giannis not gonna get it if he stay at the Bucks.
player for player, it's a lot closer than you're led to believe. Because right now, this version of Giannis, who's shooting 48% from the rim, in the mid-range, we know he's one of the most dominant players at the rim, and he's a better playmaker than Tim Duncan as well. So if you're taking all of that and defensively, listen, Tim Duncan,
I can't put him in. I realize we're saying player for player, but I get that, bro. You know what I'm saying? But this is a team sport. We got to put the accolades and all that because he's a multiple-time MVP winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tim Duncan got more MVPs. Tim Duncan got more championships. You know, in my opinion, I do feel like Giannis is a better player, you know what I mean, than Tim Duncan. But we're not saying that. We're not going off player because if we going off player-wise, it's a lot of players that's better than LeBron James. Let's keep it real. You know what I mean? Like, if we're talking about player-wise, why do you put LeBron in your top 5? The first thing you talk about when it comes to LeBron, you talk about accolades. You know what I mean? Accolades. Oh, multiple-time MVP winner. Multiple-time champion. Oh, scoring list and all. You always bringing up accolades. You know what I mean? But we talking about player-wise, there's so many people that's better than LeBron James when it comes to being a player. You feel me? Straight up. Even when it comes to Larry Bird, it is a lot of people that's better than him being a player. You feel me? But we don't go off players. This is a team game. Who makes their team better? You know what I'm saying? Who's a better team player? So off of that, you feel me? This is 5-on-5 game. This ain't 1v1. That's the reality of it. So who's the best team player? Tim Duncan is the best team player. You know what I mean? Tim Duncan is ranked higher than Giannis Antetokounmpo because he has 5 MVP. He has 5 freaking championships and multiple MVPs. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, bro.
He's one of the greatest defenders of all time. You can make the argument the greatest, right? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Giannis might not be in that conversation, but I think the gap offensively, Giannis averaging 30 a game.
Yep.
Tim Duncan wasn't doing that.
No, he wasn't. With him not averaging 30 a game, he did do what was necessary. So we got a guy who's in a big man league with Shaq running around, with Olajuwon running around, with all of these great bigs running around.
Exactly. All these bigs running around, bro. Giannis, I always forget Giannis. Giannis is literally the only one I see getting busy in the post. But Tim Duncan was doing this with literally true centers around.
League with Shaq running around, with Olajuwon running around, with all of these great bigs running around. He's playing at a level where if you need me to only average 19, I can do that. But if you need me to average 25 a game, I can do that too. Because he did that when he won the league MVP. That ended up happening. So he did that. And by the way, this is the slowest era in NBA history. If we're playing in a fast era, which is conducive to Tim Duncan's game, because I don't think you give Tim Duncan nearly as much credit as a transition player. And as
Giannis is better.
And I'm not going to argue that part.
Not close.
No, I won't argue.
Okay.
I just don't think you can give. I don't think you give.
That's your opinion, though, bro. Like, people like you, I ain't gonna lie. People like you, I literally, like, I can't stand because you think, like, what you say is, like, facts. What you saying is not facts. You know, like I'm gonna keep it real with you. Most people think Tim Duncan better than Giannis. I'm gonna keep it real with you. know what I mean? Like, it's an opinion, bro. It's not a fact. You know what I mean? Just say I think that Giannis is better than Tim Duncan. Not, oh yeah, Giannis is better than Tim Duncan. It's a fact. No, it's not. It's an opinion. But you kind of too dumb to not understand the difference between a fact and an opinion.
Which is conducive to Tim Duncan's game, because I don't think you give Tim Duncan nearly as much credit.
I don't watch the World Cup. I don't watch football. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I don't even pay attention to the World Cup, honestly. I didn't even know the World Cup was going on.
As a
I did kind of knew what was going on, but I don't pay attention to it.
transition player, and as a
Giannis
guy
is better.
And I'm not going to argue that part.
Not close.
No, I won't argue.
Okay.
I just don't think you can give. I don't think you give Tim Duncan enough credit as the transition player that he is, and not just that, but a guy who can stretch the defense and play in the mid range. We're praising Giannis for playing in the mid-range. That was Duncan's game.
It was.
That's where he played at. We're praising Giannis for averaging. We're praising Giannis for being a bucket getter. Tim Duncan, that was his game on the box.
Well, that's not fair, OG. That's not fair because
old heads be going
a
crazy.
very raw prospect. This is a 19-year-old kid. He was skin and bones. He had a very
Sounds like a you problem.
He had a very limited.
Exactly.
I know, but we're talking right now peak for peak. Tim Duncan. We're not talking about who's a better prospect. We're talking about who the better NBA player is. Right now, Giannis at his peak. And there's one thing interesting that you said. You said Tim Duncan does what he has to do. Well, Giannis doesn't have that luxury. He wasn't playing with Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Greg Popovich. He was playing with Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. Just shout out to them, some great players. But
I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. Like, I mean, that Bucks team was not that bad. I'm gonna keep it real. They wasn't even really supposed to go to the finals if it wasn't for KD, you know what I mean, stepping on that dang line. So that was really a miracle ring right there. Better thank God that James Harden and Kyrie Irving got injured, because if that didn't happen, it would have been switched to booty.
the teams that he was playing on, he had to average 30. He had to have 50 in a game 6 to close out. He had to block shots.
Absolutely.
Tim Duncan, he had this great team around him. He had to do, I
Who fault that
give you
is?
tonight. I'll give you 25 tonight. Giannis got to go out there every single night and be the best player, else they're losing.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Dale. Who is Tony Parker in 2003? You have no idea
Tell
who
me,
he is.
what do you mean? He's an all-time player, all-NBA type player.
No, in 2003, in year 2, no, he is not.
Okay, but
right?
what about Manu?
Kevin Willis. Okay.
What about?
Okay, Manu.
Okay.
Do you know who Manu is in 2003?
He was a great player.
You don't know who he is, though.
He was a great player.
He just got there. You have no. So all of these guys are unproven guys. Tim Duncan throws this crew on his back. And since you brought up Giannis going for 50, I don't know if you remember this, but Tim Duncan in Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the New Jersey Nets, he went 20.
Come on, New Jersey Nets. Now you trying to now you trying to what's the name? Now you trying to, you know what I mean?
In Game 6.
He trying to, you know, the Nets clearly wasn't that bad back then, you know what I'm saying? If it was in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying, against Tim Duncan them.
And since you brought up Giannis going for 50, I don't know if you remember this, but Tim Duncan in Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the New Jersey Nets, he went 20, 10, and almost.
Nets ain't always been bad.
That wasn't 50
in the closeout game.
Shout out to Tim Duncan. I tried.
What's up, OG?
Hello.
None of these motherfuckers know sports.
Good. How are
Nice
you?
to see you.
Yeah. Y'all think y'all trying to trick me with the pretty face. I'm ready. I'm ready.
So, you agree LeBron James is the greatest player of all time,
I think
right?
he's the best ever.
Would you say he's the greatest at every position of all time? I think he's the greatest point guard, greatest shooting guard, greatest small forward, greatest power forward, and greatest center.
What the freak? Oh my God. No, what the freak? God. These are LeBron James fans right here for you. He's not even the greatest small forward of all time, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And you say he's the greatest point guard and shoot. So you telling me LeBron James can go play the center position and dominate the center position? He's never played all 5 positions. Stop it. Never done that in his career. You know what I mean? Stop it, bro. Stop it. Nowhere near a greater point guard than Magic Johnson. You know what I mean? Than Kyrie Irving, than Steph Curry. Some people even debate that Steph Curry better than LeBron James. I'm not saying it. But you LeBron James fans, one thing I can't stand about you LeBron James fans is that y'all think what y'all say facts. I'm telling you, more people think LeBron James is not the GOAT than he is. Simple as that. Why is she here?
Greatest point guard, greatest shooting guard, greatest small forward, greatest power forward, and greatest center. I think he's a better center or power forward than Tim Duncan.
Based on what?
Everything.
No, you can't just say everything. That's like saying
That's my king.
That's like
I'm gonna support my king.
Oh, sure, but that's like saying because I said so. Because I said so isn't an answer.
Is that
no,
not an argument?
No,
because I said
no.
so. I say LeBron is my king. He's the best at every single position. He has songs written about him.
Yes,
okay.
He does.
Have you ever listened to Bronify?
I have never listened to Bronify.
Okay, well you should hop on.
I should probably listen to Bronify.
Yes.
However, I mean, because I said so isn't an answer. Because if I say so, I mean, I could say something wild as hell, and because I say so, I guess it's true. No, I mean, as good as, like I said, as good as LeBron James is, and I think LeBron James is fantastic. He's the best player that I've ever seen. But at the power forward spot, being able to glass clean, being able to do the dirty work, being able to switch defenders, being able to cover against bigs, being able to rebound in traffic against bigs, being able to deal with guys like Shaq, being able to deal with guys like
I feel like he could do all of that.
I think that he could do all of that. Tim Duncan did do all of that, though. I think that's the difference. So because Tim Duncan did all of that, I mean, I think that there's a separation between the two.
All right, I got cooked.
Not debating.
Mm-hmm.
She was kind of up to something with LeBron. Because LeBron is positionless.
Yes, he
and
is.
if you're telling me that he is my power forward, he's better than Tim Duncan, no doubt. But let's not even go that route. Let's stay with Giannis. Because you diminished Manu, you diminished Tony Parker. But Tony Parker in 2007, which was still pretty much peak of Tim Duncan's powers as well.
So Kevin Durant is a better power forward. Kevin Durant is a better center. Kevin Durant is a better shooting guard. Kevin Durant is a better point guard. And Kevin Durant is a better small forward than anybody of all time. Basically what you're saying. Because Kevin Durant is a better player than LeBron James. When you're talking about player for player. Now, I'm not talking about all time. I'm not talking about when it comes to rankings. I'm talking about player-wise, bro. Player-wise. Kevin Durant is better than LeBron James when it comes to being a player. Simple as that. But I would not put him over LeBron James. LeBron James is a better team player. You feel me? Just stop it, bro.
Finals MVP against baby
Stop.
LeBron.
Yep.
2013. Who would have been the Finals MVP if the Spurs had won? It would not have been Tim Duncan.
It would have been Danny Green.
No, it would not have.
It
Just
would have been
because he
Danny
had
Green.
the three-point record.
Green.
Don't lie. It would have been Tony Parker. You know the answer. You diminished 2003 Tony Parker. You know the answer is Tony Parker in 2013.
It was real talk. It was real conversation.
Mike
That was Danny Green.
Budenholzer was his head coach when he went for 50 in a closing game in the NBA Finals.
Danny Green was cold with the Spurs, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That light-skinned mother effer was cold with the Spurs.
Greg Popovich is arguably the best ever.
Yep.
Arguably the best ever. He had the luxury of having arguably the best coach of all time for the entirety of his career. Now, Bruce Bowen, you know the game better than I do. OG, I'll shake your hand and tell you that right now. But the truth of the matter is, Bruce Bowen is still an all-time great defender. One of the best defenders we've ever seen.
Wasn't in 2003. Neither was Tony Parker.
Well, what
Neither
about
was
his
Manu
first
Ginobili.
championship?
Neither was
What about his
neither
first
was Steven
championship?
Jackson. And by the way, since you brought up,
What about his first championship? You keep talking about 2003. If you're saying 2003 is peak Tim Duncan, how about Giannis and when he was Defensive Player of the Year and MVP? There's only been 3 players in NBA history, OG. You know them better than I do. LeBron James, Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, and of course Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's rare company. That's Giannis Antetokounmpo.
100% rare company.
And that's with Mike Budenholzer as his head coach.
Now remember, that's in 2021. I think Giannis is in year 8 when that was going on. So Tim Duncan in year 2 when he's got
After how many years of college?
4 years of college.
Oh, okay.
100%.
Got it.
So, because everybody who comes out of college is awesome when they get to the NBA and they go into the NBA Finals and win the Finals MVP.
Hey, LeBron was, and she
can't
made a good
forget-
point for him.
I can't believe I can't leave that out. But Tim Duncan, at
He ain't
that
come out
point in
the
his
gate
career,
just-
again. He's taking
Came out the gate
Jerome
balling
Kersey.
for sure.
He's taking Avery Johnson. He's taking. I can't believe I'm saying this. He's taking Avery Johnson and Mario Ellie and Jerome Kersey.
LeBron took a trash team to the finals though, for sure. LeBron team took a trash team to the finals.
I can't believe
He
I'm
came
saying
straight out of
this.
high school. So I can't say nothing about that.
Taking Avery Johnson and Mario.
Talking about his first year, though. First year.
And Steve Kerr. He's taking them to the NBA Finals.
no, and David
you don't know.
Robertson.
And
He just come out.
who's got a bad back? You don't know who these guys are in 2003, and you don't care about Malik Rose.
Who
you
is
don't.
Giannis's number 2? Chris Middleton.
Chris Middleton.
Okay. Now
who
He was a
had for 8
baller.
years. Let's make
and
sure
Chris
we clear on
Middleton
that.
He's a
was
baller.
Right.
career playoff choker until 2021.
The same Chris Middleton, who's an all-star, by the way.
Yeah, Chris Middleton was a ball player, bro. I don't know why you keep talking about Chris Middleton, bro. Chris Middleton was 5 with Drew Holiday. Bro, that Bucks team wasn't bad, bro. I don't know what the freak you talking about, gang. Like, you smoking on some good dough. You acting like that Bucks team was terrible or something, bro. That Bucks team was not that bad, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, my boy. Chris Middleton was fire, but
until
The
2021.
same Chris, Mid-
Free?
the same Chris, Mid-
Yes.
the same Chris Middleton, who's an All-Star, by the way.
Okay, so we're
Let's
going to go
make
by
sure.
All-Stars. So
Let's make
Tony
sure.
Parker, Manu Ginobili.
Parker wasn't an All-Star in 2003.
You
Neither
keep
was
bringing
Manu
up
Ginobili.
2020.
because that's what we're talking about, bro. We're talking about his first.
2003 isn't the only year they played together, OG.
But 2003 is the year that they dismantled
Giannis
the
as an
Los
athlete,
Angeles Lakers,
Giannis as a scorer,
three-time
Giannis
NBA
as a
champion.
playmaker, Giannis as a defender. I'll give it to of course, Tim Duncan, but he was a DPOY. Come on.
Hey, look, man. That's the end of stream, man. These dudes right here, man. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, that freaking Goofy, he probably made the best argument out of everybody. You know what I'm saying? But that right there was one NBA old head versus 10 Gen Z fans, man. Freaking new school people don't know what the freak they're talking about. But I appreciate everybody, man, for joining the stream. You know your boy Jay will not be live tomorrow, but your boy Jay will be live back on Monday. So make sure y'all tune in. It's your boy Jay, man. Take it easy.